welcome to another episode of Memoir of a Naija Girl. My name is Helen. So on today's episode, we're talking about cancel culture. Cancel culture refers to the popular practice of withdrawing support or cancelling public figures or companies after they have done or said something considered objectionable or offensive. That is, there is an issue in our economy. You have your opinion, I have mine. The large amount of people follows you. And then my opinion becomes redundant. Now, instead of you to just leave me with my opinions, you're now telling people, let's cancel this person. We're not listening to this person's music again. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. So on today's episode, I have Olu Salako, SLK brand. Is popular known as Brother Wasiu. I'm going to call him now. So stay tuned.
Hello?
Hi, you know, the Nigerian factor, definitely.
Yeah.
Welcome on the show, SLK.
Oh,
Yeah, so I understand that you are one of, you have a very, very different views about certain situation or events in Nigeria, you know, and oftentimes when you talk about them, people always troll you, and I really feel like it's quite unfair. And then the cancel culture in Nigeria seems to be a thing. Now I want to ask you, should we cancel culture?
hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, network was breaking before.
Yeah.
I think it's better now.
All right. So I said that you have a very different opinions most times on issues in Nigeria, and oftentimes you are being trolled for hearing your own opinions. And should we cancel culture?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard cancel culture.
Yeah. So I'm asking, should we cancel culture?
Of course, I don't even think we should. That should be a thing, actually. Like, cancel culture itself has its roots in perfection.
Right.
In seeming perfection, and it's not possible. And it's actually impossible for everybody to be on the same page on a lot of issues.
Definitely.
You can always disagree and disagree. You can disagree. You can even personally disagree and not want to associate with something. But to make it a culture is even wrong. Is a lot.
Right. So do you think that people are actually living on eggshell and scared of airing their own opinions because of this culture?
Of course, that's what's going to happen, or that's what's happening. And you see people just keeping quiet. I had an unpopular opinion about a major issue recently. And it was funny that, of course, while the number of people that were against me were more, but there were still surprisingly a handful of people that actually agreed with what I was saying, and I was surprised. Meaning that people are working in eggshells, especially celebrities and people with short kind of careers. Everybody, a situation where something will happen and you just quickly go and contact whoever is paying the person, maybe whoever they are ambassadors of, or
the brands that they represent.
Yeah. And just shut out their means of livelihood. Just because you do not agree with something or bring up a scandal, you know, it gets very, very irritating at the extent to which people go just to show their displeasure or their disagreement with a particular, just a belief system or a particular opinion. Even if it's deeds, even if it's something the person did, I mean, especially when it's not confirmed.
Right.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah, many Nigerian celebrities participated in the NSAS protest, including you, because I checked your Instagram platform. Due to the cancel culture, I really believe that maybe many would not have come out like that. I mean, a lot of people came out, but they were scared of, oh, if I don't say anything, they might cancel me. But somehow, I feel like that's the whole force kind of participated it combined, the combination of voices has aided the fight of police brutality, don't you think?
Of course. the joint voice
Right.
help in the combat against police brutality. However, you don't force activism.
Right.
People. There are people that are activists. People that are going to be interested in different degrees. While I do not subscribe to people being passive into society, but you know that people are going to be interested in different. You don't expect people to join every fight. You get some people. The fact that they are not joining. Some people don't even understand, and some people don't even agree. And again, while you might disagree with their disagreement, you cannot cancel them, and you cannot blame. You can hear them out. You can disagree with them, but you cannot shame them for not joining, because you will join to the extent of which you are. So people genuinely, it's not everybody that collected money or that did not agree with the movement that collected money. Some people genuinely do not. Some people can be genuinely wrong. Like people can be genuinely. Some of our parents were genuinely wrong about some things. We didn't cancel them. It's just based on the exposure and the information they have. Some people even have better information than we do. You'll be surprised because things are not on the surface. So we need to learn to hear people out, even in unpopular climbs,
Right.
unpopular instances.
But sometimes when people hear their opinion, especially when we talk about very crazy things like maybe rape, maybe assault, I understand that many people lie about, oh, I did assaulted this person, or I did. You don't expect someone who raped someone to come out to say, oh, I raped this person, But when the court of law or there are evidences, do you think that we should cancel these people? I mean, what are the situations to be considered before canceling people or businesses?
I don't think you should cancel anybody. I think people should be prosecuted by law. People should face the wrath of the law. I mean, the full weight of the law, when they are wrong or when they commit a crime. I believe in justice. I don't believe in cancel culture, because cancel culture is different from justice. As a matter of fact, cancel culture is the jungle justice of the social media space.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, let the law take its course, and if he ends up in jail, it doesn't mean you should stop streaming his music. I mean, he's in jail. What do you want? What else do you understand? If he ends up in, especially when it's already legal or he's taking his legal course. Fact that somebody is did something wrong, morally wrong, or he committed a crime does not make him a terrible musician or a bad. Doesn't suddenly make him a bad musician
person. So you're saying that we should take somebody's hat off their crime. Like, okay, yes, you did something bad, but
your art is different from your crime.
Right. So, but do you think that social media has kind of stopped people from thinking or assimilating content independently? Because it looks like people just follow the crowd, because my favorite celebrity says this, then I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Are social media taking that independent content assimilation and understanding away from many people?
But technically, from time immemorial, apart from social media, just amplified it. Man has always been a gregarious animal. You kind of tilt to where that's what is called peer pressure. It was called peer pressure when we were growing up. Now it's social media. So there's a herd mentality where everybody kind of like tilts towards the popular side. It has been even from the days of the Bible. From the days of the Bible, people have always tilted towards the popular side. People have always wanted to please the popular opinion. So social media just created a platform where that can be seen.
So,
right.
Let's go back to what happened a few months ago when you talked about your own views about what Desmond Elliott said,
Yeah.
And of course, because I read the comments and you were being trolled for that. Personally, I have my own opinions, and I feel like, yes, he made the point, but that was not the right time to say such a thing. But you just said, okay, you should allow this man say whatever he wants to say. He has his own opinions. But don't you think that sometimes it's okay for you to let your opinions down and just concentrate on the reality?
That's ironic, Because if you're going to, sometimes if you're going to concentrate on the reality, then you're going to air your opinions, especially if people are not looking at the reality of the situation. For example, people talking about timing are only being one-sided about it. So you're talking about timing from your perspective. Desmond Elliot, as I know, is not a representative of the youth. Primarily, he's a representative of a constituency that was one of the most grossly affected by the what's it called?
The
Riot,
and the riots.
The looting. Do you understand? People report directly to him. So I mean, we tend to forget that he was one of the people that pushed for the NSAS protest to be attended to at first in the House, at the first night of the protest. I remember very clearly that people were allowed into the Lagos State House of Assembly, the plenary meeting, and they actually said that Desmond Elliot actually spoke almost with the same passion about the NSAS thing. It's even on his page.
But
now,
he came back afterwards. You know, he said something in the House few days after. Somebody on the internet said, "Oh, Desmond Elliot is pushing the social media bill," and then he did a video and he said, "Oh, I never said a thing like that."
Yes, he never said. That's the thing. That was exactly my point. He never pushed a social media bill, or he never pushed for a social media bill. What he said in that place had nothing to do with social media bill. I don't know. I still don't see it. I don't see the social media bill in what people are saying. He came out to deny it, and he said what he said in the House. What he said in that video that he denied was exactly what he said in the House. As a matter of fact, he pushed for a solution to the SARS menace. That was his prayer to the House. He pushed that the government should decentralize the system so that the state can have their own security. That was his prayer to the House. If he was pushing for a social media bill, his prayer to the House would have been different.
So
it was clear in the video, but I guess people were looking at it from a different a different lens.
Many of us were, we got very emotional, when we saw that video, especially because he came out to say, "Oh, I didn't say this. I didn't push for this." And like you just said, "Oh, there's nothing, I'm not attached to this thing." And a few days after, a video is out where you're saying, well, people's businesses have been looted, this and that. People insult somebody that is older than them. Yeah. I mean, in a country that is fighting oppression, in a country that many people were massacred and the government are denying this reality, I personally feel that it is, the timing was a little bit insensitive.
You need to understand that we youth, we need to understand that nobody has a monopoly to emotions. As emotional as you are, here, if you have the right to an emotional outburst, the other person too has the right to emotions. It's a fundamental right. Nobody has a monopoly to it. Now, he is coming from, if you watch the full thing, he was coming straight from the Adeniro Ogunsanya Mall that was grossly looted. I mean, we saw people on Instagram, we saw it. We saw women fainting, we saw people crying. Some people might never recover from that loot.
Right.
And these are people that we talk to him directly. These are people he represents. In fact, he came late to that plenary meeting, and he came straight from that Adeniro Ogunsanya, according to what he said in his talk, in that speech that we all watched. He came straight from there. I mean, he's not saying the government did not shoot or did not oppress. He was saying, categorically speaking, that the looting he was condemning the looting.
Yeah,
he kind of linked the misconduct on social media. He believed, and rightly so, he believed that it spurred into what the looting was. And so, I mean, nobody has the right to. If you feel you can insult somebody, the least they can do is to call you a child. I don't see. I feel if you insult me and I call you a child, that's the least I can do. You shouldn't be angry at me for calling you a child. If you insult me, because I didn't insult you back, I just called you a child.
But the whole NSAS thing, it really came out very strong. You know, it came out very strong and affected many people. Of course, we all know that it was not the protesters that did that. That was not on the protesters, but on the looters. The looters are different from the protesters. So I have followed you well on to know that Chris Rock is your favorite comedian, and in one of the, I love Chris Rock. Everybody knows I love Chris Rock.
Well, that's nice.
Yes. So, and in one of his documentary, he admitted that many jokes he said in the past, you know, if he had said those things in 2020, he would have been cancelled. Yeah. You know, how has this whole cancelling thing, how has it affected your own brand, the SLK brand?
Well, I've refused to let it affect me, considering the fact that I'm still going to be. In fact, I've never really been an edgy comedian, but by virtue of the fact that I love the art form, I really want to protect the freedom of the art form, especially from the angle of making jokes. And by the way, I cannot put a cap as to what I can say and what I cannot say.
Same.
So, for example, my next special is going to be edgy to an extent, and I mean that's just what it is. I should be able to if an actor can express himself, or a writer or a filmmaker can express himself through film,
right?
A singer can say something. Why would a comedian not be able to say it? I mean, we're all in the performing arts,
right?
I mean, because it's humor. Come on, it's humor. Like humor is the way I can
express yourself fully.
Yeah, I can express myself. And if you keep limiting what we can say, you're going to make the circle of humor smaller, smaller by the day. Like I said, are you sure you're not? Are you sure? Are you being empathetic, or you are just being selfish? Because if you say we should not talk about this, there's so many other things that also affect people that has the potential to traumatize people, in quote. We cannot talk about. So if are you being selfish?
But Nigerians, are they ready? Do you think we are ready for that edgy performance by you?
Well, it's not even in Nigeria. Funny enough, I keep saying this thing. This thing is a borrowed culture. We are this sensitivity. We are not. It's not. This has not really been us per se. It's the whole wokeness that is driving this. I don't even think it's a Nigerian thing. But however, because right as I'm complaining now, Kevin Hart is complaining, Dave Chappelle is complaining. It's everywhere. Everybody has become increasingly sensitive. I mean, they are digging up old videos and starting to make it a big deal. So the humor line gets smaller, and it becomes very, very, very difficult to make jokes.
So wokeness breeds this whole cancelling culture. Does it breed it?
I believe to an extent, cancel culture is a product of the whole wokeness and enlightenment. Everybody gets increasingly sensitive. What I notice is that most of the time, the people that you think are the victims of these things, or that you expect to be the victims of this, are not even the ones bothered. It's the people that think that the people that are victims are bothered. They are the ones pushing. So you make a joke about Cobams, for instance, and people. I remember making a joke about Cobams once, and the whole divided. Some people laughed. Some people like how could you say that? And I'm laughing because even Cobams himself has made money from his by making jokes about himself. He makes jokes about himself all the time. And so you are just being concerned about somebody that has outlived, or should I say outgrown whatever challenge he's facing. And it's almost like he doesn't even face it. That's just an example. And that's exactly what happens. Because most of the time you discover that the people pushing against the comedian or whatever is being said are not even people affected, or that you think might be affected.
But sometimes the victims don't come out to say, okay, this was really what happened. Sometimes they need support system. Don't you think that's...
What you think, what you say, let me tell you what happens most times, a lot of times. What you begin to do by pushing for those things on your own is you begin to open the wounds for them. And they actually become, obviously, if somebody hits my car,
The Nigerian thing is here.
And you can hear me?
Yeah, it's breaking up, but I can hear you now.
If somebody hits my car, for instance, and ordinarily I do not have any issues with it, and people start fighting for me, I will fight too, because I do not want them to just fight alone. I mean, you're fighting for me. Even if it doesn't really affect me, I have to join the fight. Because you're fighting for me. That's exactly what I feel plays out a lot of the times. I'm not saying most. I'm not even denying the fact that bringing up some topics can drive trauma. But the truth is, in life, topics are going to be brought up. If you say, I have a friend, she lost her mom to an armed robbery attack, of course it's going to traumatize her every time you mention armed robbery. Or people are going to talk about armed robbery. You're going to open the news, you're going to hear armed robbery. You can't stop comedians from cracking jokes because it's going to traumatize some people. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I pray she finds healing, and we help. On a more serious note, we would help her, or people will help her heal gradually with time. But she has to heal eventually.
But sometimes opening up is healing.
Yeah, exactly. If you open up, you heal, and you need to. And I always have this saying that what you've not laughed at, you cannot overcome. Most of the time, what you laugh at is what you overcome. So I mean, you need to make it light so that you can overcome it, and that's what comedy does. And that's a vital part of comedy, making light of serious issues. So if you take away the serious issues from comedy, you're taking away a vital purpose or a vital use of stand-up comedy, a very, very vital one, especially.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this last question. Are you really pushing for a social media bill? Do you think social media should be in a more organized form?
I don't think it should be mandated by the government. I don't think it should be. I feel it is very dangerous and not appropriate for the government to regulate the social media. But I feel people need to have a moral. I think all those kind of things boils down to moral obligations. We need to make people orientate people on how not to cyberbully and all those kind of stuff, and make the internet safe.
But you know, it's really hard for you to be morally normal in a very oppressed country like Nigeria. You know, sometimes oppression breeds the madness. You know, just brings the madness out.
If you force a social media bill legally, that's pushing the oppression narrative, and it's not good for. It's not even good for your look. It's not good for the outlook, and it can backfire because I mean it means that we'll just be quiet. There's a limit to what, because what becomes hate speech. I'm actually a fan of free speech. In fact, that's exactly why I'm pushing against the whole cancel culture thing, because free speech needs to be a thing, because in the end, what becomes hate speech is defined by whoever claims to be the victim.
Right.
But I think that's hate speech. There's nothing really defined. So the government can come out and be like, that thing was against us, that thing you said was against us, so we're putting you in jail. And that becomes the problem. Everybody begins to work on eggshells, and it's military regime all over again.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, Olu Salako. Otherwise, I call you Brother Wasiu, and you know, Omorebi Custard. You are definitely not a bastard, you know. Thank you. Thank you very much for being on this episode with me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Guys, you see, cancel culture. We can't keep canceling people. It's fine for people to have different views. It's fine that we should hear them, because if we want a normal economy, we have to hear each other out. It is normal. Let us agree to disagree on certain issues. Don't force things on people. Let them talk. You don't like somebody, it doesn't mean you shouldn't like their heart. You know, I don't like your music, I move. I don't have to, you know, push myself to like that music. I don't have to ask my friend, oh, I don't like this guy. you should not listen to his movies, or you should not listen to his music, or you should not watch his films. That is it on today's episode of Memoir of a Naija Girl. My name is Helen, and I just spoke to SLK. Okay, that's a very nice guy. Thank you, SLK, once again. All right, follow me on Instagram, helen.love.23. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow. Oh, it's a YouTube. Hello guys, it's a YouTube channel. Subscribe. Thank you.